Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am going to be showing you my #1 luxury makeup products right now. I'm going to be doing this get ready with me style. If you have noticed, I have not been doing monthly favorites. I don't even think I did any last year. I just did my year-round favorites. But I just thought I am someone who has a curated makeup collection, so I tend to use the same products over and over. But I thought maybe breaking it up and doing not necessarily monthly favorites, but doing my #1 luxury makeup products currently, and just doing it a few times a year would be really helpful so that you know what I am currently really loving in my routine. So if you want to see my #1 luxury beauty products currently, just keep watching. So I'm just going to get started with the skin, and I'm going to be using my #1 makeup products right now. I'm going to start off with this Chantecaille Sheer Glow Rose Face Tint. I really like to use this under my eyes. So typically in the morning, I don't apply an eye cream, and I will just use this Chantecaille product as my eye cream. And I will go underneath my eyes, just kind of tapping it in. And I have already gone in with my moisturizer and SPF and everything, so I don't typically use a primer on an everyday basis. What I have been really loving to use is my Gucci Illuminator de Beaute. This is the multi-use drops. I like to just give these a good shake. And I'm finally remembering to use this underneath makeup. I keep on forgetting whenever I show this in my videos. But I just like to take this on a BK Beauty 203 brush. You can use any brush you want for this sort of product. And I like to just apply that underneath my makeup on the tops of the cheekbones. And then I like to bring it also down the center of the nose. And then I'll take a little bit of that product above the brow as well. Just on the high points of the face, essentially, just to bring a little bit of a glow there. But this is such a beautiful product because there aren't those intense, obvious shimmer particles. It's a very sophisticated shimmer. This product also dries down, which I really like because a lot of other cream and liquid highlighters, they remain tacky or sticky on the skin and they don't dry down. But this actually dries down. So if you're someone with oilier skin type, this would be a great liquid illuminator to use as well. And then my #1 foundation has been this Prada Reveal Foundation in the shade MN40. So to give this a good shake, and then I will pump out of just a pump on my hand. And what I love about this foundation, it's kind of like the perfect everything. So it has this really gorgeous, smooth finish to it. I'm just using this Shiseido brush because I like to apply it with a brush. So it has the most perfect, natural, I would say velvet finish. It dries down. It's like a better than skin finish, so it's your skin but better. It definitely perfects the skin without a ton of coverage. I would say you could get a medium coverage, but it's not going to be buildable past that. So if you're looking for something that's more customizable, then maybe skip this one because this does just build to, I would say, medium coverage, but it's a pretty solid medium coverage. It's more buildable than some of my other foundations, and it definitely has that more skin-like finish that dries down more to a velvet. So it's not as hydrating or as glowy as some of my other favorite foundations. But what I love about this the most is how smooth it looks on the skin. Your skin looks so perfected and blurred in such a beautiful way. And again, it perfects and blurs the skin without having so much coverage, without adding a lot of pigmentation to your skin. It's perfecting in a way that it smooths out the skin and really blurs the appearance of texture. And I really love this because it lasts all day long on me and it doesn't ever fade away. It doesn't ever crease. It doesn't ever get altered throughout the day. So for concealer, I'm sure you won't be surprised that my #1 concealer currently is the Surratt Dewdrop Concealer. I wear the shade #4. This is just honestly perfect. If you guys haven't tried out this concealer, what are you doing? This is literally my holy grail concealer. I don't want to use anything else. This is so good. The formula of this is just incredible. It is different from any other concealer. I love how it wears under the eyes, especially. I apply it and it doesn't move throughout the day. This is the most creaseless concealer that I have ever used. It doesn't settle into lines throughout the day. It doesn't look worse for wear at the end of the day. Sometimes with certain concealers, just at the end of the day, your makeup obviously looks a little bit more lived in, but this never does. It honestly remains extremely consistent, and I just love this formulation. It has a really nice coverage. It isn't too crazy full coverage, but it's not too light coverage. Just the texture of this concealer just smooths over any lines or anything. It is so fantastic. And my mom, who is 65, she also loves this concealer. And yes, I do need to have my mom back on my channel to do an updated favorites video with her. So hopefully we'll do that soon. because I do have some updates for you guys. And a cream blush I just cannot stop using is this Patrick Ta cream blush. Look how much I have gone through it. I can't believe it. This is the Patrick Ta Double Take Cream and Powder Blush in the shade She's Flushed. And I like to take it on a Sonia G mini base brush. And I'll just pick up a little bit of product. And like, I don't use that much product, but I pretty much use this every day because I am just really in love with how this color looks on the cheeks and just how this formula looks on the cheeks as well. It is so gorgeous. It has a really nice texture to it. Like, it's a really sheer formulation, I want to say. It's very buildable on the skin though, so I like to just go in with a little bit of product. And just this color especially is so beautiful. It literally, the color is called She's Flushed, and this does literally make me look like I've been out in the cold. Like, my cheeks are just naturally flushed. It gives you a really healthy natural glow. And this product really does melt into the skin. So if I want to go for that no makeup look, and I want to just apply a little bit of blush and maybe just wear like a tinted SPF, this is the product I reach for because it looks so skin-like and it just makes you look like your skin has a natural flush. I love it. So I have been doing my makeup a little bit differently. I think I've mentioned it in a few videos, but I've been liking applying blush, and this is something you guys actually recommended to me, and I'm so happy I picked it up. This is the RMS Beauty ReDimension Hydro Powder Blush in the shade Crystal Slipper. So a few of you have recommended this formula to me, and this is a really nice baked formulation. It goes on a little bit sheer, and this does have a sheen to it. And I was kind of put off originally from trying this because I thought the sheen would be too shimmery, but there actually isn't a detectable shimmer particle, so you can't see the shimmer on your cheeks, which I prefer. Like, I just don't want to see those shimmer particles on my skin. I'm going to go in with my Ray Morris. This is, I think it's a Deluxe Kabuki brush. And I just dip it into this product, always tapping off the excess. But this color is really light, and it's a really pretty neutral shade. So I feel like it just goes with any sort of makeup look. It's a really pretty nude blush tone. So again, it goes with any sort of eye shades you want to use. If you want to do a smokier eye or a bright bold eye, it goes with any lip color. And it is just gorgeous on the cheeks. You wouldn't require a highlighter with this because of the sheen it has, but the sheen doesn't actually emphasize any texture on the skin. Like, it doesn't make pores look worse. I think if you did apply it like right here beside the nose, if you're someone that likes to apply your cheek colors that far in, then it probably would emphasize texture just because that's inherent with something that has a bit more sheen. But this is an absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous blush. I love how it melts into the skin. I guess it is that baked product, so these sort of formulations really do have that capability of melting into the skin. But what a beautiful flush of color. And then sometimes, if I want just maybe a pop of color just like right on the front of the cheeks, I really love going in with my Valentino blush. This is the shade number 2. I forget, the Very Rose, I think it's called. So these are the Valentino Eye to Cheek shades. I just use these on the cheeks, and I literally just dip in once. I'll tap off the excess again, and then again, just if I want a pop of color, I'll just apply it to the very front just to add a little bit. This isn't something I do all the time, but you know, I'm sharing my #1 makeup products right now and thought I would just go over everything. This is if I'm being like super in depth, maybe I have plans or something. I've just been really enjoying doing my blush first because I feel like on my skin, I already look like I have a more healthy glow, and I look like I have a bit of definition to my face. And now I don't require as much bronzer. Therefore, I'm going to, at the end of my makeup, have less makeup on my face. I feel like when I was applying my bronzer before blush, I would just end up with too much makeup on my face because then I'd automatically just apply my bronzer to my cheeks first. And then when I'm going over top with a blush and then maybe a highlighter, it just ends up being a little bit too much. So I've just been liking doing it this way. My #1 new favorite bronzer brush is the Sonia G Niji Pro. If you guys haven't tried this, this is a really great bronzer brush. A lot of you asked for my recommendations. And I'm sorry, I can't stop using this Hermès. This is the Plein Air Healthy Glow Mineral Powder. So I like to just pick it up on that brush, and again, always tapping off the excess. So this is obviously a bronzing product, but I feel like it just really enhances the skin versus it being a noticeable bronzer. Because as you can tell, there's not too much contrast in this bronzer between my skin color. So I really like that Hermès did this sort of formulation where it literally is just making your skin look more beautiful, really enhancing your complexion, and making you have that subtle glow, that subtle healthy glow, like that sun-kissed look that that when you get kissed by the sun would give you, versus a bronzer, which sometimes can just add too much contrast, that it looks harsh, that it looks unnatural. So I love that this just adds that enhancement to your skin without it being overwhelming. It's so subtle and just so beautiful. You can honestly apply this all over the skin as a powder, you could probably even buff it into your skin. This has like an ever so soft glow. There aren't any shimmer particles, like I said, but it's not a flat matte powder. It's more of like a satin finish. And then if I've been choosing to go in a highlighter, which sometimes I don't, I'll just leave it with that Gucci highlighter that I applied at the very beginning. And I still feel like, because the foundation I went in with is lighter coverage, you can still see a little bit of that glow through. But I've really been liking to add just like a very hint of highlight. And I'll either use the Peau Luminizing Face Enhancer in the shade 202 Golden Galaxy, or I really like the Shooting Stars one. I feel like I've been using Golden Galaxy so much, so let's use the Shooting Stars, which is a little bit more bronzy, and this one is actually more subtle than this Golden Galaxy one. So I'm just going to take it on, I've been taking it on an eyeshadow brush because I like that I can get a really precise amount of highlighter. And I'll literally just apply it to the very tops of the cheekbones, being extremely delicate. And then to really complete the skin so everything looks buffed in and smooth, I've been using the Chantecaille Perfect Blur Glow Powder. Is that what it's called? Lotus Perfect Blur Glow Powder. Taking it on my Sonia G buffing brush, and then I run over the edges. So run over the edges of where I've applied the bronzer, blush, and highlight so that everything looks more seamless into my skin, so that everything is melted into my skin and there are no products sitting on top of the skin. This just makes everything, I know it seems weird to say it looks more natural, but it does when you buff this product into your skin. And it adds just this beautiful glow to your skin, but it's a glow that blurs your skin, which is so unique for a powder. So just love this to finish off my makeup. And then finally, my #1 favorite powder right now is this Peau Refining Press Powder. Really happy with the reformulation. I don't notice a huge difference, like I said. I just use a small brush and apply right in the center of my face to really blur the appearance of skin texture. This just does the best job of refining the look of your skin, like the powder is called, basically. This makes your pores look invisible. It blurs any texture on your skin, and it has a really great longevity to it as well. And this sort of powder is the type of powder that just doesn't look like powder on your skin. So I really like that because I don't want my makeup to look like makeup on my skin. I want it to look skin-like. I'm just gonna do the lips before I do the eyes. And I've been really loving this Gucci lipstick. You guys were right. This is another thing that you made me buy. So this is a Gucci, I think it's the Brilliant lipstick. It's in French. But this is the shade Sally Soft Honey. I will obviously link it below. But this is just a really pretty sheer lipstick that looks great on an everyday basis. It's definitely like a nudie pink shade that I just really love. And then if I want a gloss, I just have been going in with this Peau. This is the Brilliant lip gloss, or sorry, the Radiant lip gloss in the shade #3 Charm. I'll just put a little bit over the center of the lips. And then as always, I just like to rub everything in so that it's more lived in. So I hope this isn't too boring because I feel like I've talked about all these products so much. This is why I stopped doing favorites videos. But on the eyes, I'm going to go in with the Chanel. This is the Chanel Long Lasting Eyeliner in the shade #76 Brune Platine. So I'm just going to line this on the outer corners of the eyes, mostly. Just across the lash line, just to get a little bit of definition on the lash line to start out with. And then I'm just going to take a BK Beauty, this is a number 204 brush, and I'm going to blend out that eyeliner just to get a little bit of definition on the eyes to start out with. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to blend in that eyeliner a little bit further with this Peau eyeshadow palette. This has just become an absolute #1 favorite that I can't stop using. I'm going to dip into this deepest shade here, and I'm going to use that again as my eyeliner, just applying it on the base of the lash line, being a little haphazard here, not too much precision. And then from here, I'm going to dip into this matte shade right here, and I'm going to just take it on a Sonia G. This is a Blender Pro brush, and I like to just run this through the crease. So I'm starting at the outer corner, and then I'm just blending it into the crease. But I did kind of want to update you guys, so I said I had some updates, but my videos might be a little different for the next few weeks because, okay, This is something that's hard for me to talk about, and I'm going to talk about it briefly because I don't want to cry. But about 2 weeks ago, I woke up just randomly and I could not hear out of my right ear. I'm just going to go in with a little bit more of that. And turns out, long story short, I have developed something. It's extremely rare. My doctor hadn't even had a patient that has experienced it. It's called sudden hearing loss. And it's basically where you lose hearing in, it can be partial or full hearing in your one ear. So I have full hearing in my left ear. It's just my right ear. And it's just super random. They don't know what causes it. I didn't have any sort of symptoms, like I wasn't sick or anything. I've also been really liking this Victoria Beckham. This is the Longwear Crease Proof Eyeshadow Stick in the shade Trench. And I'll just apply that to the lower lash line. And then from there, I'll also go back into that matte shade on the lower lash line, and I will just dip a pencil brush in and I will apply this to the lower lash line. I just like a little bit of color on my lower lash line. So just blending that from outer corner inwards. But anyway, so turns out there's only a 30% chance of me regaining my hearing back. And it's been really emotional, just this whole journey, because I don't know, losing your hearing is obviously just emotional in general. It's really upsetting. I know it's not the most upsetting thing in the world, but it's just really hard for me to deal with emotionally. It's affecting my mental health, obviously. The treatment is very interesting as well. So like I said, my videos might be a little bit different because I actually have to go to a different city to get treatment. So I have to go to Vancouver. I live in Victoria. So I have to go and get treatment there. The treatment is just, it's a little bit different. I've never even heard of the treatment before. It's called hyperbaric oxygen therapy. And basically I'll be in Vancouver for 5 weeks getting treatment. So obviously because of that, I'm not going to be home. I will have to film videos in a different city. So I'm obviously not going to be able to take all my makeup products with me. So I probably will just be doing more talk-through videos. If you guys have any suggestions for videos, I might be able to do more will I buy it videos, but I obviously won't have the physical products. I'll just be able to show photos of them. So, and also I just don't know how I'll be emotionally. I don't know how draining these treatments are going to be. But obviously it's important for me to try and get my hearing back. So I am going to do the treatment. It's such a rare condition that happens that it's just been really hard to deal with because there's not a lot of information about it online or anything. It's just so rare. But it's just been really hard because it's obviously affecting my whole entire life. And it's not only that, it's not just that I can't hear properly, it's that it affects your balance. I'm really dizzy. I feel like I'm talking differently. I feel like I'm more scatterbrained. I feel like I have more brain fog. Did I mention I'm dizzy? I'm pretty sure I did, but I just don't feel completely there. I feel completely off balance. I have ringing in my ear. Everything, I can't, situations are so much different. I get really affected going outside. My hearing is just so, everything's echoing and it's really disruptive. Everything's just so different right now. And I just thought I'd mention it just because it is something I'm going through, and maybe someone else is going through it as well, and this will help. It's so rare, probably no one else's, but I just thought I'd mention it because obviously it's going to be a little different on my channel for the next 5 weeks. I'm going to try and pre-film some things. I'll just get off that topic because that was too much. Now for my favorite shimmer shadows, so the Surratt, this is the Souffle eyeshadow in the shade Ciel, Dore. This has been my favorite one and done shadow. It is absolutely gorgeous. It is such a unique texture. It feels wet, when you feel this. It's so interesting. I've never experienced a product like this. The pigmentation is really nice. It has this beautiful, sophisticated sheen that's not too shimmery. It gives you that glossy wet lid effect. It's beautiful. So that's something I've been reaching for super often. But I have a newcomer that I've been absolutely loving. This is the Peau Solo Shadow. And it doesn't say the shade name. I think I have to take it out. I think it's called Pearly Beige. It's the lightest one, but this is beautiful. It is the exact same eyeshadow texture in these primer shades. So this is their exclusive technology moisturizing bouncy formulation. It's a 12-hour luminous finish, skincare infused. So I have just been really loving this. It's that same really interesting putty texture. You can see I've just been feeling this, so it looks kind of worn in. But this is beautiful how it makes your eyes just glow. It's, even though it looks like such a boring shade and you could dupe this with so many other maybe companies or formulas, I feel like you can't, because the way it looks on the eyes is just so beautiful and special. It makes your eyes glow in such a beautiful way. It smooths over your eye texture, and it just makes you look glowing and beautiful, and it's so pretty. So even though this looks like it can be duped, I swear it is a different formulation. And I really like the size of this too. It's pretty big, but I've been using this mostly as a one and done, but it's beautiful over top of this eyeshadow palette as well. Like honestly, just the way that makes your eyes glow is so special. It's so pretty. I can't even, you have to like see it in person to know what I mean, but it's beautiful. For mascara, I went in with the Gucci mascara, and I tightlined with the Hourglass Voyage Waterproof Gel Liner in the shade Black. The YSL is still my #1 mascara, but I just ran out of it and I need to buy a backup. But that is everything for my #1 luxury makeup products right now. That is it for today's video. Those are all my #1 luxury beauty products right now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Like this video if you like it, and I'll see you in my next video.